Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames. In this video, we're gonna talk about Kim Kardashian persistent to be disrespectful to her countrymen and countrywomen, and not just disrespectful, also tone deaf. Now, do you guys remember that huge fire in Australia and the rest of the world?
It's
were
like
oh
nothing
my
I've ever
God,
seen. It's being
look at all the
tolerated,
plants,
and it's
the
almost being
animals that are
endorsed and
dying in
encouraged to go down
Australia.
there and
Let's
do what
pray
you want
for
to do.
Australia.
Can you get yourself off
And we
these
thought
drugs
that
or not?
because the fire happened in Australia,
So right now,
the
with
rest of us
the
would have
mix
been
of
okay.
fentanyl and tranq,
But this year,
you do have to
we
be
realized
medically
that
detoxed.
it's really
and
hotter.
a lot of places
What
don't
could
really
it
know how to
be?
attack it
And I'm
because
saying,
there's
aren't
no.
we
So before,
really
when it was
thinking?
heroin,
Because we're all
we knew how to
nature,
attack that. We
and
knew
we
what
all
we needed to,
coexist
what medicines we had to
directly
administer
and
for the
indirectly,
withdrawal
whether
symptoms.
we know it
Now
or not.
there's no
Each time there's a
telling
large
what's in those
wildfire,
bags. It's a very
we
small
all get
percentage of
affected.
fentanyl. Then there's
But some
carfentanol,
people
there's
tend to
xylazine, there's all type
not
of
even realize
barbiturates. So
that's
it's,
what
your guess
happens.
is as good as mine.
This is Kim
what people are
Kardashian.
getting in
Kim
those bags.
Kardashian is
So
one
they
of
don't
those
really know how to
people,
combat it right now.
because
But
Kim
something has to be
been
done. There's
posting
it's
on social
it's getting
media
worse and worse and
consistently,
worse and worse.
calling on Joe
Well,
Biden
I'm
to
just
do something
happy we were
about
able to
what
show
is
the
going
country
on
you in that moment in the street,
Armenia.
pulling that woman off
She
there
wants,
so she didn't
Joe
get
Biden
hit by a
to
car. I
stop
think
the
that right
genocide
there
and all of that.
signals
No,
the kind of
this is how
beast that this
I
drug
know
is.
Kim
It's going to kill you.
has no idea
All right.
what is
Thanks so
going
much, Frank.
on in the real world and how detached she is from what's happening in her backyard. Because, make it make sense, America has their own genocide going on in Kim's backyard as we speak, and numerous other celebrities. America is facing another drug epidemic again. And the amount of people that are dying each day, the numbers are far worse than the amount of Armenians that stands to lose their life based on what is going on. Now, make no mistakes. I'm not saying that these people should not get help. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because a life is a life, and everyone's life is important. As I say, we all coexist directly or indirectly. We all rely on each other for energy directly and indirectly, whether we know it or not. We all rely on each other for survival, directly and indirectly, whether we know it or not. So, I'm saying to myself, she keeps pushing for Joe Biden to do something about what's happening in Armenia. But what is happening in America, it is far worse than what is going on in Armenia. And here's how it is far worse, right? The issues in Armenia, with proper communication, can come to an halt this second, this minute, and people's lives will be saved, right? Not saying that it is as easy as the snap of a finger, but that can happen and then everyone goes on with their lives. What is happening in America with the drug epidemic? Let's not even get into the homelessness, right? It is very severe. And I've been following a lot of documentaries on YouTube, on TikTok. And let me tell you, there was one video that caught my eyes and I started crying immediately. We had teens in the street, senior citizens, young adults, and it was so many people in just one spot. They're just slowly dying. Some of them are just so high, and it's all drugs. And if they didn't tell you, you would think that those people partied at that spot. They were all too tired to go home, and they just decided that we're going to rest up here on each other, because ain't no way at one single location there should be thousands of people who are suffering because of a drug addiction. And make no mistakes, many of these people addiction were triggered by prescription drugs that was given to them for an illness, for a chronic pain, and as such, they became addicted. So, why is Kim consciously, because I have to say she's consciously choosing to ignore the problems of her country when her country is already crippled? Because America is crippled by its responsibility. And whenever America is crippled by their responsibility, it trickles into other countries, like the third world countries like Jamaica. Because what America is then forced to do is to find people that has been there ever since they have been a child, a few months old, 1 year old, 2 year old. Many of them were even born there to Jamaican parents or parents from other Caribbean countries. They have no idea what it's like to be a Jamaican. But when America gets crippled by these circumstances and they don't know what to do, they start deporting people to our country and they dump them in our streets. Many people aren't even Caribbean connected. They are American citizens, born there, bred there. Their parents have always been American. But they try to get as many people as they can off their streets, and they use what they call diplomacy to do so. And they tell you that they are deporting illegal migrants and people with criminal records. And when they get here, no criminal records can be found for those people. When they are interviewed here, many of them are not even connected to anyone from Jamaica. I'm not making up stuff. I'm telling you, because this is what our government had discovered. And then those people are stuck here. Some of them have done amazing things with their lives, and they are forever grateful that, we didn't send them back, even though initially they wanted to go back. After a while, when they get to stay, when they get clean and find themselves a job and they transition into the culture, they believe that that was the journey that was meant for them. And they're happy that they got that experience because they believe that living in Jamaica is way better for them. And you'll never hear from most of them causing any problems. They do not get involved in crime and violence or anything like that. But some of them do. And they do in such a aggressive manner because they're no mad at everyone. So they tend to be going off and on everyone. So whatever is going on in America with a drug epidemic that's there, it is affecting everyone. But Kim is choosing consistently to act as though America does not have their own genocide going on. Because what's happening in America currently, it's a genocide. And while Americans may not have invasion of people wanting to take them out of their homes, get rid of them because of their DNA, well, that is going on there too. So let me not even go there. But America's genocide, it has numerous categories. So it has homelessness. It has a drug epidemic that's going on. It has racism. It has, the servicemen and women being left out in the cold. And none of that is bothering Kim. Kim is not concerned about how fentanyl are getting into schools where babies back to back. For the past week, I have observed fentanyl being the cause of death of babies under the age of 3 years old. That's not a problem to Kim. Kim just wants to be loudmouth, Joe Biden, as though she doesn't even speak English at this point, because that is how Kim is behaving. She doesn't speak English. She doesn't speak Spanish. She doesn't speak French. She speaks a strange language, but the only word she can say in English is, Joe Biden, help Armenia. Armenia suffer. And she has no resources available to her to see that what is going on in America is far worse than what is happening in Armenia. And what is happening in America, more people are dying every week, which is more than the genocide that is going on in Armenia. Kim is still on Twitter acting as though she doesn't speak any of the 5, top frequently speak language. And the only thing she knows how to say in English is America, Joe Biden, help Armenia. And she doesn't care because she doesn't understand any of the basic languages, and she has no access to resources, so she has no idea what is going on. She doesn't care if a child is going to take fentanyl in a candy to school and break off a piece of candy and give to her child, because that's what they're doing. Is she talking about that? No. Are they screening the candies that are coming from home now? Are the teachers taking a bite of the candies and say, let me try this out first before you have a piece and before you can share with your friends? Why isn't Kim concerned about what is going on with the foods, the candies, and all of that? Because there's a drug epidemic that is going on, and it's very serious. But she cannot pay attention to what is affecting and deteriorating the labor force of her country. But she can garner the strength and the efforts to look into what is going on in other countries. And the reason why I'm sensitive about this is because whenever America has a drug epidemic, it's like a domino effect, as I've explained to you. It ends up in our Caribbean countries and the African nations because Black people are the first to be targeted and say, let's deport you. And then other countries end up getting some of that problem when if there was a resolution to get drugs out of your homes, out of your pharmacies, and off the streets, we could be saving more lives. But Kim is too tone deaf over there to use her platform to take care of her home before looking out for others. When you're sick, and if your friend is sick, you know you have to take care of you first if you truly want to help your friend. Because if you don't have health, you cannot help your friend. And this is why I cannot take him seriously. And this is why you know that everything is just all PR. And that's all I have to say about that. Kim is still being tone deaf and also arrogant. And that's all. Thanks for your time. Stay safe. See you all next time.